Welcome to another episode of the Minnesota Meatloaf Podcast. How's it going today, Matt?
Good. How are you, Aaron?
I'm doing well. Another rainy day. It's
I
always
know
raining now.
last year it was a drought like all summer long, and this year it's rained for like a week straight already.
Oh, I know. It's just ridiculous, I tell you.
Come on, weather. Get your shit together. Sorry. Got so hurtful right off the bat.
Jeez. Uh,
Anywho,
so what have you been playing and watching?
I finished The Defenders. I
Yep.
really liked it a lot. And then I watched Black Widow, the Marvel movie.
Okay.
Um, and I hadn't heard very good things about it, but I was actually
No.
surprised at how much I liked it. Like maybe
Did
just because
you?
my expectations were so low, and I was
Hmm.
expecting it to be a piece of crap, and it was halfway decent. So I was like, oh, this is
Oh,
kind of good.
yeah, I remember
Guy from
people really
Stranger
hated
Things
it.
is in it.
Oh, is he?
Yeah,
Oh.
he's kind of like a Russian Captain America. He's the Red Guardian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Huh. Cool.
But yeah, people really hated it. Sorry, I talked over you.
That's all right.
So what
Oh,
have you been up to?
let's see. Finally finished Gotham Knights. I finally platinumed that. It's a fun
Nice,
game. Pretty pretty easy though. Easy platinum. And I did start the Bloodborne. I know
nice.
you platinum that, but I finally got to it because years and years ago when it came out, I got it for review and
Hmm.
I played it for about a week for the review and I remember it being just impossible. And
Hmm.
then other games came out, so then I never got a chance to go back to it. And finally I'm like, there's nothing I'm really looking forward to now, so I'm like, I'm gonna finally prime platinum Bloodborne. So
Nice.
I love
It
it. It's awesome.
It really is. I think it honestly is my favorite video game of all time.
Yeah.
Currently, I haven't played Elden Ring. I'm sure I'd like that. So
Yep,
I'm still
you'd
stuck.
like that.
I'm stuck in the PlayStation 4 era still. But um,
Yeah.
I it took me. I can't remember if it was like 3 to 5 years to platinum it off and on. I wasn't playing it that whole
Well,
time, but I would play
yeah.
it at months at a time and then give up and quit. But it was. I think I went. I think I did all together probably 7 playthroughs, and I wouldn't have had to have done that many, but I like
Yep.
restarted and was trying to level up and everything. But the very first playthrough I did, I went through the whole thing without realizing you could lock on to enemies.
How the hell did you
That's,
do that? That's
I
like
have no idea.
crazy.
Yeah,
I made the
I
game
would
like about a
basically
thousand times harder.
run around in circles, swinging a sword. Is basically what I did.
Oh my God. I don't know how you, oh man.
And then it was like and I think that's why it took me 100 years to level up because I just kept grinding and grinding, and then all of a sudden I was like, oh, you can lock on. This is way easier. You can dodge, you can parry, you can.
Yep.
I get it
I haven't
now.
gotten the parry down yet.
No, I never
Yeah,
did.
that,
I platinumed it and never did get the parry down.
yeah, I watched some YouTube videos on it and it's like, yeah, whatever. I'll just run around and axe them.
Yeah, I was good at the old dodge and stab. Once you get the Ludwig's holy blade, it's like
Yeah,
wait until the old dodge and stab.
awesome. And I watched a really cool documentary last night on it was on Reading Rainbow. Remember that show, Matt? Did you watch
Oh
that?
yeah. Oh,
It was
definitely.
called it was called Butterfly in the Sky, and it was a hour and a half documentary on the show and how it got started and why they started it. And they had interviews with LeVar Burton, and
Nice.
the people behind the show, the people that did the music. And remember the show they'd have the kids that would do the book reviews.
Yeah, it'd be
They
like
even brought some of them back. Yeah.
they're like, I read this book and I thought it was great. This story is about a dog. And it's like
Yeah. So it was a fun interview. Oh
nice.
my gosh. It was a fun documentary. So but
I
yeah.
used to love that show. I remember like it was when I was really, really little. It was Electric Company, Sesame Street, Mr. Rogers, and
Yep.
321 Contact. And then Electric Company went away before too
Yep.
long. But then all of a sudden, one day, Reading Rainbow was there, and
Yeah.
it was like the
Yep.
first new show on PBS, I guess, for kids.
Yeah, I know. And like my routine as a kid, because we only had, 5 channels or whatever, was
Hmm.
I'd watch, like Sesame Street, and then it would be Mr. Rogers, and then it would be, Electric Company, and then it was Reading Rainbow. But I remember seeing first time seeing Reading Rainbow, going, "What the heck is this?" And
Yeah.
yeah, pretty cool.
The theme song's
But
catchy.
yeah, yep. But speaking of TV and
Only having
stations,
5 channels.
yep. That kind of brings us to our topic today, Matt. And you want to introduce it?
Today we are talking about the UHF TV station Channel 41. It's had different names over the years. I
Yeah.
remember it mostly as TV Heaven 41.
Yep.
Um, and it was out of St. Cloud, right here where I am in
Yep.
St. Cloud. And it was I'll tell you the story of I looked it up and I guess it started in 1982. But
Okay.
real quick, I'll tell you the story. So we had PBS, so Channel 2,
Yep.
and Channel 4 was CBS, Channel 5 was ABC, Channel 7 was another CBS out of Alexandria, I think, and
Yep.
then Channel 9 was like syndicated. I think that eventually turned into Fox, and then Channel 11 was NBC, and
Yep.
that was it. And then I went to my babysitter's house and they had this crazy Channel 41, and I saw something I'd never seen before in my entire life, and that was Voltron. And
Okay.
my mind was absolutely blown by Voltron. And I
Yep.
went home and begged and begged and begged. I think it was probably the first time in my life I begged. I was probably like 4 or 5 years old, that we get Channel 41. And my parents were like, "What the hell? Channel 41?" So they did some research and we had to get what was called a clothespin. There was like 2 little metal pins on the back of the TV, 2 for
Okay. Yep.
VHF and 2 for UHF. And when you wanted to watch Channel 41, you had to unpin the clothespin from the VHF and pin it to the UHF. And then there
Yep.
was a separate knob with the higher numbers to turn in Channel 41.
Yep.
And it was Voltron and Inspector Gadget. And was He-Man on there too?
Yes. He-Man was
Yes.
in on there. Yep.
The greatest cartoons ever were on Channel 41.
Yep.
So that's the story of the origin of how we got Channel 41.
Yeah, because we moved around a few times as a kid, and we moved to Holdingford, and we lived in an apartment in Holdingford, and they had we didn't have cable, but for some reason we could pick up 41, with our TV. So, but back then it was just KXLI, channel 41, and then they would
Yep.
have like older cartoons, like Top Cat and Flintstones and stuff like that, and then they
Yep.
would have all these old like black and white movies and stuff like that. And then when we moved to Piers, then we, had we could, I don't know, for some reason with our antenna we could get it. We didn't have
Oh,
like any
nice.
cable, but we could still get, the UHF 41, because we got two UHF channels, 41 and 42,
Oh, nice.
KSAX, channel 5, which, I ended up working for
Right.
eventually. Never would have guessed that back in the day, um but yeah, because I had a TV in my room to play video games, so I couldn't get any regular channels, but I could get the UHF channels. I could get 41 and 42. So I watched
Uh-huh.
those two all the time. But yeah, so I watched all the different, the changes of 41, because it
Yeah,
went through several changes through the years,
it
you
did.
know. But like you said, I think the best time of it was the TV Heaven era.
Hmm. Yeah, I can remember because I would watch cartoons, and I remember they'd always have commercials for Heckle and Jekyll, or
Yep.
maybe not Heckle, but like Top Cat. I remember always seeing
Yeah.
Top Cat, and then there was Inspector Gadget, there was Voltron, and I remember when Inspector Gadget had a contest, and you could mail in a postcard
Uh-huh.
to get like put in a drawing to win this Inspector Gadget doll that was like looked like it
Oh,
was a foot tall. And I begged and begged my parents for that. And my mom finally bought me postcards, but wouldn't let me help me fill them out. So I wrote in like my 5-year-old handwriting on the postcards and mailed them in. So
are those
didn't
dolls?
win, didn't win though.
Oh, yeah, those Inspector Gadget dolls have go for a lot of money now. I've seen them like
Yeah.
on YouTube, like, people that hunt for toys and stuff, and that would have been
Hmm.
cool. Do you remember, was it out of St. Cloud, like when you were entering?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. And
Yeah,
so
because it,
oh, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, yeah, because they did their own promo. So yeah, it probably would have been, send it
Hmm.
into St. Cloud. So
Yep. But then, yeah, like as we were saying, it switched to TV Heaven 41. And what that was is they showed reruns of older shows like I think like Gilligan's Island and
yep.
Andy Griffith. And so this would have been like in the 80s and 90s, and they were showing shows from like the 50s and 60s kind of thing.
Yep.
And it was their slogan was like, old shows don't die, they just go to heaven. TV Heaven 41.
Yep.
And
And it
they
was
had some really
before,
cool like promos and like title cards and stuff.
yeah, because before TV Land, before like, the Viacom owned, the same company that owned Nickelodeon and
Mm-hmm.
MTV and all that. Um, so 41 was doing the TV Land before, they did their own station, so they were kind of ahead of them. But yeah, I
Yep.
remember those promos. Those promos were pretty catchy because it'd be weird. It'd be like quick little clips of like these weird pictures with like words that spelled out what they were saying.
Yeah.
So
Like still cards, but one for each word. And as the guy would talk, it would switch and rap. Like, so he'd be like, last night I dreamt of heaven. And it would be like, there'd be a picture for each one of those
yeah,
words. And it's
and
just
maybe
like, what?
what I'll do is in the description, I'll throw a link to like some of the ads. I know
Okay.
that they're on YouTube, so I'll throw some links so people will know what the heck we're talking about. But they were pretty neat.
Yep.
Better than the
I,
shows sometimes that we're on.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. So some black and white thing would come on and you'd be like, ugh. And then the
Yep.
commercials would come on. It's like, when's the cartoons coming on? I'm trying to think of what I like to watch on, because now I'm getting, because eventually we got what was called a UHF booster, and then we
Okay.
could get 23 and 29. And
Oh,
29 eventually turned into Fox. I don't remember the order. Fox was on 9 for a while, and it was on 29 for a
yep.
while, and it flipped back and forth. And then 23 was just an independent. I remember watching a lot of Knight Rider, and I can't
Yep.
remember if that was on 41 or on 23.
Well, see, when I was in high school, I would come home after school
Uh huh.
and they would have Knight Rider on 41. It would be
Okay.
21 Jump Street and then Knight Rider.
Yes. Yep. Now I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, so they were like back to back. So I can't remember what was first. I think 21 Jump Street was first, but I would watch both of those shows as soon as I'd
Yep.
get home from school. And
Yep. I would too. I had the same routine.
because I had never seen them before, because back, growing up, I had never watched them. But then I don't
Hmm.
know, I still think they're really good shows. So
Yeah. Because I can remember when Knight Rider was new, I was like, I think a little too little yet,
yeah,
like a little too young. And I just kind of didn't get to watch it much. So it was like it was
yeah,
brand new to me.
yeah, yeah,
And then they'd go through all the seasons. Like there's like he'd get like the kit would get the upgrade. And it'd be just like
yeah,
the random middle of the week or something. And be like, holy crap, because it was like a season premiere, you know?
yeah, yeah. I know, yeah. And then later on in our later high school years is when it really got awesome. Like late high school and then early college is when they switched again programming, and it was, I don't know, it was pretty crazy because one day, and I think the day I discovered it is because I'd watch it off and on and that, and one Sunday I was like watching it, and all of a sudden there was a crazy fishing show that came on. It was called Fish Masters, and I thought that it was like maybe a local thing, or I thought maybe it was going to be like an actual fishing show, because you never knew what was going to be
Right.
on that channel, because they would randomly just put shows on there, and there was no TV guide that really you could
Hmm.
look at. And so I was watching the show and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the craziest thing I'd ever seen. And I think I called you and told you about it, and then we started watching out for it. And
Yeah. Because I think because there was actual fishing shows where it would be some guy out in a boat with like this
yeah,
grainy video and kind of like audio feedback, like, and he'd be like, "We're out here today in the boat trying to catch bass,"
yep,
some local thing. And Fishmasters looked and sounded exactly like that, except it was a
yeah,
parody, and they were
yeah,
doing stupid stuff and making jokes. And the one guy was always in a life jacket, even
yep.
when they're like in the middle of the land. And you called me up, and so I think I turned it on. My brother's friend Gooby, of all people, was over, and he was
Yeah.
like, "Oh yeah, fish!" Like he was like all like, "Oh yeah, it's Fishmasters. I've seen this before." It's like what?
Yeah.
But there was the
Oh,
93X music video show, I think on
yep,
before Fishmasters, the heavy
yep,
metal station out of the cities, Minneapolis.
yep.
93X had their music video show. What was it? Was it live from somewhere? Like Rhino's Pub or something?
It's something like that. It was always like in a
Yeah.
bar. They'd always do it from like bars. I think local
Yeah.
downtown bars in Minneapolis.
Like we're here from Lion's Tap in Woodbury or something.
Yep,
I'm just
yep,
making crap up, but
yeah. Because that was on at late night, right? Because what was the sequence? It was like Fishmasters late at night, and then it would be the music video show, right?
I thought the music videos was first, but I could be wrong.
Okay, no, I think you're right. I think it was the music videos was first because we'd always we'd play Magic a lot in
Yes,
on the weekends in the evenings at somebody's house, and then we'd always at a certain time we'd turn on the Fishmasters and the music videos, or
that's
we'd
how
turn on channel 41.
I remember it because I can remember sitting in the basement playing Magic, and we'd have the music videos on, and we'd be playing Magic and kind of half listening to the music
Yep.
videos because once they were over, then we'd stop playing Magic and actually watch Fishmaster.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
Because that was the first time we'd ever heard Ink, right? Remember
yep,
that
yeah,
band, the One Hit Wonder?
yep, and go to Media Play,
Yep.
listen to it on the iStation 20 times, and then buy the single.
Yep. That should be another episode in the future as a medium play.
Yeah, we should.
We could go on forever about that.
Oh,
But
we got stories and stories about Media Play.
you know, still one of the best stories ever.
Oh yeah.
So you want to remember? You want to tell about the crazy video that they had that one time on the music video show that we've never seen again, and we can never find it.
What was it? Was it it was a
The
guy.
nose.
It was a big nose, like the
Yeah.
kind of like the Afrin. Isn't there like there's like a nasal spray commercial where the guy's head is a big nose,
Yep.
and it's similar to that, but it was even weirder somehow. And it was like a
Yeah.
guy with like a big giant, I don't know, paper mache nose for a head, and he
Yeah.
just was like walking around, and there was kind of like this creepy music playing, and it
Yep.
was like spoken word, and he just was like something like how I don't remember what he was saying, but it was something about how he just can't take it anymore and life
Yeah.
is so hard and everything sucks. And he's like walking through like these abandoned, like underneath overpasses and
Yeah.
like dirty, like concrete burnt out area. It's like, what the F is this?
Yeah. And we've never seen it again or can never find it. They only aired it once.
Yep. And
Mhm.
I've tried so many different ways to like do different searches for it. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I consider it like lost media at this point.
Yeah. Because I have, yeah, I don't, because I've looked on YouTube for like big nose videos and, things pop up, but I've
Yeah.
never found that video.
Yeah.
I
It
wonder if
almost
there's
reminds me
somebody,
of Mac Tonight from McDonald's, except instead of a moon, a nose. I don't remember if it had sunglasses or not. Maybe it did.
I don't, I think it did.
I think it did actually. Now that I think about it,
Yeah. It
or
was,
like the comic character Flaming Carrot, except with a
yeah.
nose instead of a carrot.
Yeah.
These are all things you can Google. Aaron will put some links up in the description.
Yeah. Yep. And the funny thing with KXLI is because it was out of St. Cloud. Well, when I was working for Charter Spectrum Reach, one of the producers there actually worked at or KXLI, 41,
Mm-hmm.
and he did a lot of like voiceovers and stuff, and like some of the videos on YouTube, you can still hear them.
Oh, nice.
Like some of the ads that they ran, you can still find things on YouTube here and there. Somebody will post something, and yep, it's like you hear the ad and it's like, yep, that's definitely him. So
Yeah. I did
it's
see too when I looked it up online that it was home shopping for a while. I think in between
mhm,
the TV heaven and the cool era, it was home shopping, and that's when
yeah,
we did our episode about playing around on the phones, and we talked about my brother's friend pranking home shopping. That was actually channel
yeah,
41 that he was
yeah.
calling.
Yeah, because they would resort to the home shopping network if they didn't know what to put on there.
Yep,
So,
exactly.
oh, and then that was, yeah, on 41 is when I saw the worst commercial I'd ever seen and scared the complete Jesus out of me.
Oh, is that the guy that attempted suicide and failed?
Yes, yeah. One night I was like by myself and mom and dad and my sister were away, so I was by myself and I just got back, I think, from your place playing Magic, and I just happened to turn 41 on, and it's just like normal ads, and it's dark, and it's like 1, 2 in the morning, and all of a sudden there's like this guy that's just deformed because he, trying to commit suicide, survived. It was like a a suicide, prevention ad, but it was just like, oh my gosh,
Basically, it
what
was
is this?
the guy put a gun in his mouth or tried to shoot himself and
Yeah,
lived, and his face was incredibly disfigured. And I
yep,
mean, poor guy, obviously
yeah.
been through some stuff, and it was an effective ad. It made me sure not want to shoot
Oh, I
myself
know.
in the face. If I had any
Yeah,
inkling to do that,
yeah,
that was squashed.
because you've seen it too, right?
Yes, I did. They showed it a
Yeah.
few times,
And they aired it like
and
really late at night.
it would just be him talking like, "Hi, my name is so and so. I was suffering from depression. I tried to kill myself by putting a gun in my face. This is what happened.
Yep.
Please go get help if you are depressed."
Yeah, because
It's
he
like,
was sitting in, if I remember right, it was like a dark room, and then he was like sitting in a chair
"Yep,
with a light on
exactly."
him, like a spotlight on him, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah. I'm That's also where the others completely for a different reason scary commercial of Seymour smoke
Yep.
detector with Gilbert Godfrey as the voice of like a Muppet smoke detector that's just bizarre and weird looking, and then it screams at the kids. And it
Yeah.
goes,
Oh,
ah!
yeah. That was pretty terrifying. I remember you guys taped that and showed me one time when I came over. You're like, you got to see this.
And everything's a little more terrifying at like 1:32 in the morning when you've been up
Oh,
way too late and you're young and you're home alone maybe, or
yep. Yep. That's even the worst.
just been watching music videos for a half hour.
Yep. Minding your own business, and then that comes up.
Yeah, exactly.
Why do you do this?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Good times.
Yep. Good old Channel 41. And now I think it switched to Ion or whatever, the Ion network, or is
Oh,
it back to
okay.
Home Shopping Club? It's still around, but it's not in St. Cloud. It's being broadcast near the cities, I think, now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't think they
Huh.
have anything in St. Cloud anymore, but
Huh.
yep.
Cool. I
Yeah.
don't even have TV anymore. I just have strictly streaming.
I know. That's all we have too. I got rid of all the cable. I mean, we went through them all. We went through Dish, we went through Direct TV, and
Hmm.
I worked when I was working for Spectrum. I had free cable, but it didn't even come out to the house, so I couldn't get that, which was disappointing. And
Yeah.
so, yep, no, it's all streaming.
Nice.
Stream it all.
Yeah. Stream everything.
Uh, but I guess this concludes this episode, huh? I don't
Yep, I
think
think
I have
so.
anything else to add.
I don't. I think that about wraps it up.
Yeah, and make sure you like, subscribe, and email us or comment with any questions or shows you'd like us to do.
Yep.
I'm sure we can do it. And
Tell us what you'd like to see or
yep,
hear or have a smell
yep,
described to you. We'll do
yep.
it.
All right. Thanks for listening.
Yep. Have a good one.